We have arrived at a very, very interesting moment. Arguably, no, not arguably, the absolutely probably the biggest moment up to this point throughout the series is sitting right in front of us here with so many things on the line that can occur, with so many different directions that we can go and different things that can be explored and exposed, and just depends on who's kind of involved in the way that they decide to handle this and the reaction in which others kind of take on. There's a lot at stake almost going into this for, I mean, the characters individually, but just the direction overall of the story going forward. A lot, like, this is such a pivotal moment for us to actually hit, and I'm very excited to see the direction that we ultimately choose to go. If you like it all, to like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. This is a Toho animation show, which usually ends up getting blocked. What we are doing now is we're just going to keep things muted, so the anime audio is going to actually be muted, just so I don't have to deal with things later on. And if you still want to watch it with audio, please check the link in the description and you'll be able to watch it there still. Let's get going though with episode 20 of Apothecary Diaries. How we feel in Malmo. Oh, hmm, completely destroyed, concussed. What else? Hmm, everyone. There's people here to see me. Mm-hmm. It's funny how they're all related in different ways to each of them happening. There's a chance. Don't be jumping here. Mm-hmm. But who would make them? Mm-hmm. Somebody who's no longer here for it. Yeah. The flashbacks. All right, yeah. Now you settled down. Yup. Yeah, but it's still part of it. Yeah, and he was probably just like, all right, sure. No questions asked. Hmm. It's almost like that was intentional. I didn't say that. Hmm. I knew he would be there. Hmm. I need you to start prying a little bit here. Start cluing into things. Yeah, don't. I hate when you just shut yourself down like that. Just start figuring it out. Yeah, what's her role? What's Locke's role? We got a lot of questions. Oh, back to normal, almost. Oh no, oh no. Oh, all right, we're good. Hmm. Uh, So we're just gonna assume that she. Okay. So was she trying to find the thing for bringing people back for herself? Knowing something like this would happen, fake death almost come back. She's not going to be cremated till tomorrow, right? Just hopping along. Ugh. Oh, Yuki's so good at her job, dude. Actually just brings my out of life so much. Guess I'm going too. She's in this. She's just gonna rise. Like the fucking Undertaker. I'm just gonna sit here until she comes out. Did it include the episode title? Mm-hmm. She's smart, smart, dude. We gonna do fucking hit her with it? Or you're just opening it? Wake up, bitch. She's not in it. Oh, she is, she is. But oh, not her. Gotcha. Yeah, we don't doubt you, brother. Okay, they doubt her. I don't doubt her. Mm, hmm. It's just her. She's not dead. She just stood up and went. Yeah, usually I don't like paying attention to things, but I unfortunately actually watched the OP before this episode, and I saw this exact scene in it. I don't know why they would put that in there, but all right. Mm, all relating to things we've explored before. One of them's open. Hmm. I mean, it worked. Yeah. With you, it's all different. Hmm. But it didn't. Just to be friends with her, ask her questions. Hmm. Yeah. She's pretty special. Hmm. Calm down. No. Oh, we're back over here. The woman has escaped. That's part of your plan, lady. I actually have zero read on her still. But it's hard to keep her in one place. The weirdo is his tag. I still want to know what the fuck his reaction was. But I guess we're making it out that he may have not had involvement, despite, how heavily convinced I felt last time. Hmm. I'm not in public. Hmm. Okay, so that's interesting. Ah, so he is. He is. I was wondering that. Just like you, yep. Yeah, but that's not you. Hmm. What the fuck is your task then? What is your movements here? I do. Much more than all the others, personally. Hmm. Hmm. Good, 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 good. Hmm. And then there's a bit of an issue at the time. Yep. It's fun seeing it from his perspective. Hmm. Well, he might get what he wants, but it's probably gonna be another girl, huh? Oh, they're gonna mix her up in some shit that the old man's got mixed up into. Hmm. We made it back, baby. He don't seem like a terrible dude. And that's what she's planted for, but him specifically worrying so much about somebody like Goku instead, right? Oh, finally. I will say the episode went drastically different than I had expected almost. I don't know why. I had it in my head that we were going to just like head on face all these things. But I guess looking back now, it's never really been the show that does that. So that doesn't make much sense to go down that route. So I guess it makes plenty of sense the direction that we ultimately chose to, kind of taking more of a laid back approach to a lot of the things, and allowing a lot of our characters to kind of reflect to themselves while still uncovering things and revealing a lot of mysteries and giving some more clarity on things that were already clear, but even more so in case people ended up missing it or weren't able to fully grasp them up to this point. And I think that it does a really good job of doing that, and it gets you very excited for a lot of potential things to come in the future and to speculate about a lot of things going forward. The main big thing, like full reveal essentially at this point with all but saying it, is Jinshi's actual role and his kind of just awareness to like who he is and who he's pretending to be and the mask that he has to wear, and what exactly his role kind of is here and what he's doing as opposed to who he actually is. And I think that's pretty cool, that he's at least full aware on that. I have a lot of questions regarding his whole situation, and a lot of them just come down to like his motivation, his reasons for the things he's doing, who's actually in the know of all these things, like if everyone actually is or is not. I don't know. So the reveal essentially and all the stuff that's come out here, and if I'm wrong on any of this, feel free to correct it or tell me I'm just wrong, and then let me speculate going further if it's things that fully haven't been revealed yet. Is Jinshi being the current emperor and Ado's son, and being the one that was actually swapped due to the illness that was happening through the actual child, that was born from the other emperor for the emperor previously, who I guess technically would be his grandfather. And in that situation, they end up doing the whole swapping and all of that stuff ended up going down because that child ended up dying, which basically removed Jinshi from his current life, that he was having as he began to grow up and actually being the child. This puts him, I guess, under the assumption that he's the emperor's or the former emperor's son, but due to the age difference or whatever it is that kind of comes along with that, he is, because I'm assuming what happens is the other emperor takes over due to like his age, and then Jinshi, I'm assuming it's like the typical like royal thing where it's like divided by ages, and it wouldn't be that we have two rulers or anything, and Jinshi would still be considered prince because he's directly in line, like one under the other emperor, or the current one that we have, so he would be considered that in this entire situation. But due to the whole swap and the whole situation and the way that they went down with everything, he is kind of taken on a persona of somebody who is not himself, so it's not actually publicly known or revealed through to anybody what his actual role is in that situation. Now, in the realistic sense or the actual sense, he's technically is supposed to be the next in line and supposed to be the prince because he is the son of the current emperor, but that is unknown to, once again, everybody else, and I think even at that point it's unknown to him, and that's where I get a little confused. So I don't know how much everybody involved knows, and I'm sure I could think about it a lot more and really narrow it down, but I don't want to. So by that I'm just saying I don't know what Gentry's fully aware of. He's clearly, from what we've seen before in his conversation with Aldo and everything, it did not seem like he was aware that that's actually his mom. So I don't think he's aware of that. I don't think he's actually aware that he's the younger brother of the emperor. I think he's fully under the assumption that he's actually the son who is not publicly allowed to reveal himself, and for whatever the reason is, and maybe he doesn't even fully like grasp the reason why they're doing this, which I think that he probably does, which makes me wonder, does the current emperor actually know of Jinshi's position and what he actually is, or is he under the assumption that he was always the son of his dad at that point? and not actually like the one that was swapped, and then he's truly just believes that his own son died. Like those are the things where I'm questioning and wondering more so, and not fully understanding. And I don't know if any of that's like really revealed or explained, because we haven't really got insight into the actual Emperor himself, or into Aldo, like with her talking, or even Jinchi actually like reflecting on this stuff like as much. So I'm not too positive on a lot of that, I guess, exactly who's aware of what and who's not aware of whatever else. But I think it all sets up things that are interesting. Hence the reason at the end of him being so like, you need a, you know, basically needing him to have another son. And I believe he did have a son. I could be wrong. I believe he had a son at the beginning with the other concubine, the one who ended up passing away. So I don't know if that, maybe it wasn't. I mean, it could have been a daughter. I don't think it matters because the child's not alive at this point, so it doesn't matter. But the goal ultimately seems that he's trying to have a child, and he's trying to have this child as a way of Jinshi's role in this whole situation kind of gets washed away the moment that we end up gaining somebody else. So the moment that another prince is kind of born, everybody else can be rest assured. He no longer has to worry about the idea that something could possibly go down or could be really bad that could happen, and the emperor could lose his life currently, because I'm assuming if he ends up dying and there's nobody else that's publicly known for this, Jinshi has to rise to power, would be my assumption, and he's trying to avoid that at all costs. So trying to avoid that allows, or is only done by us actually having another prince be born, which is why it's such a big deal at the end with us being able to have Gyokyo be able to be pregnant, or at least we're hoping is the case here, and hopefully it is another son and not another daughter, because then Jinchi can kind of be, I'm assuming, relieved of his duties, but I don't know, and that's another thing where it's like I'm not too certain what exactly his role here is, what exactly he's doing. He's clearly waiting for this other child to be born, but his reasons for that are the thing that I'm not too like sold on. What does he plan to do afterwards? Does he plan to take back the life of his actual self, as opposed to the fake one that he's kind of presenting himself as? Does he plan to actually like rise and become more of like a publicly known like figure of who he actually is and stuff after that stuff's revealed? Does he plan to just kind of go back and like hide in the shadows, no longer be kind of involved here at all, and kind of just disappear at this point after all of that's done? Like what exactly is his main role that he's going after here, and he's trying to kind of accomplish by the end of this journey in which that he's kind of taken on, in the actual like goal that he has with this role? I don't know, and I don't even know if I got like a real good guess, but it is interesting, I guess, to think about. And once again, as I always end up saying, sorry if none of that made sense. It's more of just me thinking out loud and not properly having something like written out or presented in front of me. But hopefully you're able to kind of understand or grasp some of the untangling I was doing within my own mind. But it would also make plenty of sense too as to why the new lady that got involved here, why the emperor has no interest really in her at all, getting to be explained that he doesn't like Lishu or anything either, for valid reasons, which we kind of appreciate. And it makes you at least appreciate him. He seems to be a good dude overall. I mean, we even get to see him spending time with his daughter and everything at the end, so he doesn't seem to be somebody who's like only using them just because he wants to be able to have a lot of power and then wants to be able to have a son at the end of the day and like not care or anything. It seems like he actually like grows to like and care for a lot of these people that he's with. And unfortunately Aldo had to be like thrown out of her position due to her lack of being able to, you know, at this present moment be able to give him a son. So I mean that all makes plenty of sense to me, why all that stuff happened. And I don't think it's like him just being cold-hearted or anything and like doing away with her in any sort of way or whatever else like kind of arises from it. So I'm kind of groaning to like him a little bit more. Not that I didn't like him or anything before, but actually like seem to see some likable sides to him. But his reasons for not wanting to go near the new one makes plenty of sense too, of her being involved, something similar in a way to Lishu, with her being here like for political reasons and a bunch of other things. So him being kind of wary of that and not wanting to really go or be with her much, right? Keep her happy, or keep, I guess, everybody else that she's kind of coming from or putting her in that position and stuff, like to not be maybe as suspicious due to the fact that he does show her attention while it still isn't like a ton, being able to show up and actually see her at different moments. I think they said like once every 10 days or something, so he does that, but realistically his goal is to not actually allow her to have the prince, because then it could cause like massive issues. I don't know if that's just internally or outside or just whatever else can go on, but politically that would cause just a lot of problems, and we're trying to avoid that. So he does seem to be pretty, in a good position of understanding exactly what it is that he needs to do, or what it is that he's like truly trying to accomplish and do. So he's paying so much more attention to the other two, and I think that's a great thing for us to at least think of. I mean, and they can just pull it out from under us and end up making her give birth to the prince instead of like Gyokyo or anybody else, and we could cause like a big fucking issue, and things could really get shaken up from it, and that'd be pretty fun. But I don't know. We want to go too far down that path or anything. So who really knows? I guess. Mao wakes up early morning. Of course, I like that Jinshi's allowing her to kind of rest here, and them all taking like good care of her, and then she just kind of starts giving the rundown to everybody about the situation. I don't particularly love, I think, the way that they handled a lot of it by just immediately skipping through the stuff that happened last time, and then our first meeting just being like all down to business and stuff. And like, I guess that is important because an assassination attempt was literally just put on the life of somebody else in this moment. But I maybe it's like my internal like shipper mind of like wanting to see maybe a little bit more between Jinshi and Mao in these moments of like him actually like properly showing care and stuff, because the only things that we really do get to see is the speculation on her part of possibly him doing something good for her by allowing her to go back and work with Gyokyo or work under her, due to trying to isolate her from seeing Locken or somebody, so she doesn't have to be involved within that situation, and things are a lot more safer probably internally than actually like on the outside where he is. So that would make plenty of sense. But I would assume, based on like especially what we've seen from him, like he would be a very overprotective of her and want her to kind of stay around, and be very worried about her, and limit the things that it is that she is able to do. So I guess he's kind of doing that. But I don't know, I just thought like interaction wise I would have assumed that we would have gotten plenty more between them that we actually didn't. So I guess I'm a little disappointed on that front, but not the biggest of deals. We basically just spend this entire section here just breaking down everything that was decently obvious from the last episode of the way that things were set up, but it is a nice refresher in a way, in fully explaining how all these little things that didn't seem to really have too much like importance on the grand scale actually having so much importance in the overall things that ended up occurring later on, where we come in here and start having speculation through Mao about the actual death of Suri and how all that stuff kind of came about, because that didn't make any sense, right? It just like came out of nowhere, not something that she was really expecting, or even me, I guess, or probably plenty of people were really too big on or expecting to actually occur. And it kind of just feels like it comes out of nowhere. But once you start connecting all the dots and she really starts going back all through all the things that we've been kind of exposed to through her, it makes plenty of sense how all of this worked. And it's interesting. I mean, we do talk about the idea that she wasn't actually going to be like buried or cremated or whatever they were going to do with her until the next day, and how the doctor, being so like the way that he handled the death overall and handled the observation and stuff of her body and everything, and just preserving her here and doing whatever, caused so much issue because it allowed her to still have that out and be able to like sneakily escape. But it is a good thing because she knew this person would kind of be involved and would be able to be taken after her, so she was able to fully like set all this stuff up, which is pretty sick, and I really like. But we basically expose a lot of stuff here, and she's able to talk about the thing that we wondered before with her resurrection medicine and how all of that came about. I think that's pretty cool to bring that back around and actually make it make sense, as opposed to just like some like fantasy thing almost that we're kind of bringing to life here. And I think that's pretty cool. It leaves lots of questions. Clearly she had other people that she was working with that are well aware of the whole situation, and well aware of what it is that she's doing, and maybe even why she's doing it, and helped her out. I'm not sold at all that she is like the one who like really like was behind absolutely everything. I'm just not. And maybe that's like dumb for me to like kind of think, because they're like, oh, it's just kind of being presented to you here. But just for whatever reason, I just feel like we haven't seen enough out of her that would immediately make me be like, she's the one who did this, right? Like she's the one who like wanted him gone and wanted to do all of this. My immediate thoughts go to the new concubine and her coming in. It immediately goes to her in her involvement, and maybe it's not her like actually just her, but it could be people for whatever reasons politically or understanding things behind the scenes and stuff that are really trying to set these things up and go about everything and kind of just using all these people as like pawn pieces in a way and bribing them through certain things or allowing them to I don't know, just like it just feels like that would be a connection that would make plenty of sense. And I don't want to clear any sauce immediately on Locken and his situation. While I think it's a lot less than I initially felt last week, and his involvement might not actually be there at all, I'm starting to at least think of the idea that it would make sense due to like his knowledge almost of who exactly Jinshi is, in his position and in power and everything, to actually like put a plan like this in motion. And maybe he isn't the one who did that, and maybe he's somebody who's just kind of involved as an informant in some sort of way that allows others to get this info. And maybe it just like is out there, and it's something that plenty of other people know, and he just kind of figured it out through the rumor mill of this as well, and has no involvement at all, which entirely can be the case. And I want to make that very clear that I'm not just trying to throw it all on him still and believing that, but I just think to immediately be shown all this and to at least still not suspect what I initially felt would be a little bit wrong. And I think to still place that on him is something I should do at least, and be a bit cautious going forward exactly what his role or in all of this kind of was and will be a little bit going into the future, as we have plenty of questions because we do not ever get that actual conversation or meeting between him and Mao Mao, and learning a lot of the stuff that we still need to know about her mother, about her, about him and that whole situation. So there's still a lot out there that I think should at least be questioned and wondered. And I love in this moment the big old grin on Mao Mao's face and her excitement of being able to think that there's somebody who's like capable, similar to her, but maybe even at another level that she would absolutely love to meet, and would not want to see this person lose their life, and her not be able to meet them and learn about all the things that it is that they understand. And it is a true genius of somebody almost that you want to be able to meet. And I absolutely love it. And her voice actress does such an excellent job the entire episode of just like having these like crazy moments come in that work out so well. Jinshi contemplating a lot of stuff too, and not understanding this whole situation and what he should do and what his next step is, and then internally starts discussing a lot of stuff too about how he's faking who he is and the things that he has to go through on a day-to-day. We learn a little bit about Gaoshin and his situation and exactly who his son is and all of that, which is great that all of that gets connected and basically revealed and stuff through the speculation that I was having before. So I think that's pretty fun. But it's nice also to note that it seems like he wants Jinshi to start a family here. He wants him to start his own life and like be able to move past this. Before that to happen, we need a prince to be born, and then when all that happens, both of these can almost be relieved of their duties, or Jinshi can at least put his plan or whatever it is that he wants to do into action, that'll allow Gaoshin to kind of be freed, and then he can go spend time with his his kids and his grandkids and whatever else that he wants to live out the rest of his days. And I think that's pretty cool. She is absolutely fucking beautiful, and the Emperor, I understand, dude. I understand you're holding back for certain reasons, but like a different level compared to the others. I'm just saying, dude. Like absolutely different level. More thinking about the situation and the deaths and the swaps and all the other stuff that comes along with it there. And ultimately we end up getting to see everybody here together, and Mao Mao gets her job back basically as a poison tester going forward. We end it here, and Buddy unfortunately finds out that one of the girls has ended up being bought. Hopefully it's not the one that he's like absolutely in love with, but who absolutely knows, and we'll figure that out going forward. Who's involved with that, I have absolutely no idea. What importance that's going to have, I have absolutely no idea. But I'm kind of excited to see and get a little bit visit back there. Hopefully Mao Mao has some sort of involvement with that though. or we can like at least like learn a bunch of stuff, and maybe it relates in some sort of way to her mom, or the whole situation with Locken and stuff, like trying to purchase through people and everything that's happening. So hopefully all that like connects nicely, and I really have no doubts that it won't, but it also could just be used as like stuff to expand the world and stuff, so maybe it isn't that big a deal. I don't know, lots of yapping here, but that's kind of me untangling the brain and figuring everything out. I liked it, a pretty good episode. And I'm excited to see how we start really winding things down, as we only have a few more to go. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked it, all like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel. If you comments with this series, I'll be back for the 21st one next week. You guys have a good one. Peace.